There was a show on Netflix some years ago. I think it's Netflix. Five seasons. It's called In Treatment. It's an old show on TV. People who go to therapy, and every season consists of 4 or 5 patients. And what these people really want to do is they want to understand why their life is the way it is. So the Buddha, knowing that money, marriage, children, parents, being a prince, having a kingdom and power are of no help, he walks away from the whole thing and he sits like the monks in the forest. He becomes a religious man. He practices all the religious things. He fasts, he prays, he pushes his body to be fixed in a certain position. He has dreams, he has out-of-body experiences, but that's not what he's interested in. Jane and I will tell you that sometimes we sit with our companions and we have an issue and we want them to understand. And they say, let me make coffee for you. Let me buy a ring for you. Let me buy a car for you. Maybe we can go on a trip. And we say, I didn't come here to chat with you so that you could pacify me with ridiculous things. I want to be understood. Of course, we're expecting too much from our companions. They're not in relationship to us because they have to understand us. That's something that we have to do for our own, for the most part. What the Buddha came to realize is the following. Those who sit and meditate it's because they are scared to go back into life and face it. They're scared to really understand life. Maybe they just don't have the capacity. Maybe they don't have the interest. You know, sometimes when I walk Berkeley or even places in Oakland, I see these young men and women, sometimes not too young. They're carrying their yoga mats and they're wearing their tights. And you go anywhere in Berkeley, Bikram yoga, monkey yoga, Raja yoga, Bhakti yoga. Leave it to America and Americans to sell all the stuff, to make it a market. And they come out and they say, oh yeah, I'm so calm, I'm at peace, I'm in harmony, I'm one with the world. They have no idea that how all this stuff began with a great hatred for life. You know, that there is nothing wrong, by the way, for those of you, if any of you in this class do yoga, there is nothing wrong with doing yoga as long as you know that you're doing yoga because you have no way to control life around you. You only have twice a week for 2 hours to sit somewhere, be left alone, where you can breathe in and out. Yoga is not about gymnastics or having a limber body. You live in a capitalistic system. You live in a consumer system. Whether you are an introvert or an extrovert, you have little to no understanding of the way introverts or extroverts work. You're far too young to understand the complexities of life. The best you can do is escape it. The Buddha didn't want to escape life like his friends. He really wanted to understand. So he spends about 10 years of his life in the forest. 10 years of not seeing his parents, of his son, his kid. 10 years of not having mocha. 10 years of not watching Top Gun. 10 years of not walking around Lakeshore. 10 years of not talking to anybody. Consider for a moment what you guys talk about and think about on a daily basis. It's about the troubles of the world, of your life. But when you come to realize there is nothing in life worth pursuing, there is nothing to talk about, what happens to the art of language, the art of speech? Disappears. So, now let's get to the good part. So remember what we put on the board some few days ago. For you to truly be on this quest for self-knowledge, it begins with a call. Something from within screams and shouts, haunts you, bothers you, traumatizes you, saying, your life is not working. Nothing in life is working. It's a devastating place to be. For most of us, because we are tiny, pathetic little people, for those in this class who have some time, go online and PDF Listen Little Man, Wilhelm Reich. It's a really, really good book. That we're all little people. But we pretend as if our life is really big. So we scream and we shout and we cry. And that's how we create this facade about ourselves and our life and our identity. We are very small, but we make it sound as if we are very, very big. So he gets a call, and once you get a call, there is no escape from it. Once you know that you no longer want to be married to this man or this woman, it's mostly finished. It doesn't mean you're divorced. It means you're no longer intimate. You're no longer in a relationship, even though physically you may be there. Many philosophers argue that existentialism was an invention of the 19th century, and its zenith came with a man named Jean-Paul Sartre, but that's not true. It came many, many thousands of years before that. In the Hindus, and then most clearly with the Buddha. Now, when there is a call, you begin to search as the Buddha did. You search for an answer by fasting, by praying, by meditating. And it's a struggle. There's a good amount of conflict in it. And then if you're lucky, and most of us really aren't, if you happen to be, I suppose, like Gilgamesh, if the gods like you from above, you will be given a thing called breakthrough. Something will open up. And when it opens up, you understand. But just because you understand, it doesn't mean you can express your understanding. You just understand. And remember, it's very, very different than intuition, just having a feeling. And Buddha is not just understanding marriage or parenthood or how to make money. He understands all of life. Okay? It's great to understand how to make money, but you also need to understand how to spend the money. You also need to understand how to live a life that after making money and spending money, you don't regret your path to making money and spending money. See, Buddha is a one-size-fits-all. It's Costco. Most of you just want to be in a relationship without understanding the complexities of relationship. Most of you want to do music without understanding the function of music. And to understand the function of music, you have to understand the human condition. And to understand human condition, you need to be a good Buddhist. Now, so we're going to talk about his breakthrough, which is the Four Noble Truths. And then we're going to talk about his return to society, and giving people his gospel, no different than Jesus or Moses or Muhammad or Lao Tzu. Initially, of course, the Four Noble Truths were called the Four Golden Truths. Even if you want to remove the golden and just keep it as a noble truth, this is what you need to understand. You have people at different stations of life. Some people are simply at the pleasure level. Just want to have fun with life. Some people are far too emotional, far too confused about what it is they want to do with life. They want power, not through pleasure as in physical pleasure, about school, about getting a job, becoming a bit more responsible. Some people live in the belly. Okay? They're around the bronze stage. Some people are at a stage where they want to be in committed relationships. They're at the heart stage. Some people really want to understand. They're no longer at iron or bronze or silver. They're at gold. What we call nobility. For those of you in this class who are interested in the Four Noble Truths, know this. You can only be curious and interested. You don't yet have a noble station in life. You're far too contaminated with life and far too interested in life. Okay. So, the first noble truth is the following. To be born is to suffer, to be miserable. Why would such a good man with such a great understanding come with such a bad philosophy of life? Why would someone 3,000 years ago come out and say, life is just bad? If truly life is bad, there is no place for laughter. Unless you're a satirist. You're like George Carlin. You laugh and you're funny because life is tragic. Life has no place for enjoyment. Go back again to the dialogues of Plato, where no place in 2,000 pages does Plato offer us an image of Socrates laughing. Go back to the Gospels. Jesus doesn't laugh. He has fun with children, but he doesn't laugh, especially when he comes to adults. Look at Muhammad. There is smiling and then there is laughing. But the Buddha suggests that laughter is not allowed in life. So let's talk about the first finding of the Buddha, that life is just a disease. The reason why life is just a bad experience is that nothing lasts. There is nothing in life that's permanent. Everything you touch will eventually corrode, turn into dust. It could be one of those ridiculous hippies that you find in Berkeley or sometimes in Oakland, where they say, "Oh, just live in the present." All of life is about safety, security. It's about our future. I had a student some years ago. He had inherited $1 million from his parents. He was the product of the 1960s, where they thought themselves to be free and liberated, much more evolved than their parents. They grew their hair long, they didn't shower. Free love and all that. They trash private ownership. That doesn't mean you can't own a woman as a woman, you can't own a man. Love is free, should never be caged. So if you want to have sex with someone, just go out there and propose. If they say yes, just have sex with them. It's okay. You should see some of them. They're mentally unwell. They did so much drugs that they have no teeth. Complete waste. Impermanence. Let me say a couple of things about impermanence. All of you in this class are here for one reason. You want to secure your future. It's called permanence. Don't deceive yourself. Don't lie to yourself that you're not about future, that you want to live in the present. Don't lie to yourself by saying you're free, uninhibited. It's not true. None of you in this class, when you see a homeless tent out there, imagine yourself to be homeless. You always imagine yourself in a house. You know what a house is? It's permanent settlement. Our ancestors in the Paleolithic tradition, they were nomadic people. They moved around. They hadn't yet learned the art of domestication, the art of architecture. You know why you guys don't think about food? Because there is a safe way. Because there's a thing called money. In transaction, you buy food. And you don't think about food because you have a fridge, because you have a stove. This is permanent. But the Buddha is talking about something far, far more subtle. He's not talking about physical permanence. He's talking about psychological impermanence. What the hell is it that you want? What are you looking for? And can you find what you're looking for? You buy a house to make it a home. And then you realize it's far too small. You need to go on vacation. You need to go somewhere. If life creates things that are not permanent, then where is security? Nowhere to be found. This is a great revelation, I'll tell you why. For those in this class who are angry, who are frustrated, who are anxious, it's because you want to hold on to something that will anchor you in life, but there is nothing. You look at your boyfriend or your girlfriend, you no longer feel about him the way you used to. You play music, but today it's just not feeling right. With impermanence comes another branch. It's called dissatisfaction. If nothing can anchor you, and if you have no anchor, you have no stability. And if you have no stability, on the inside you are a nomad. You're not dependable. I hope for those of you in this class who are 19, 20, 30, 40, that no time soon you're going to commit yourself to anybody. Because you're not there yet. You're still a kid. And don't create the illusion that you can be an anchor to anyone. Because you can't even be an anchor to yourself. You're all over the place. Dissatisfaction. I don't know if Jane ever imagined herself going back to school again. Maybe she just imagined herself to be a mom, staying home, taking care of her house, her kids, her husband, herself. I doubt very much that she ever imagined herself leaving her mom, leaving her dad. And maybe it's just the politics of life that she was pushed out. To leave her parents, to leave her family, to leave her house to go to school. But the truth is, there came a point that she wasn't satisfied with just being a mom. She wasn't satisfied with just being a wife. She wanted an identity. She wanted to be somebody. You need to understand how tragic it is for Jane to be 30 after having done all sorts of things to come to realize it's just not enough. For those of you who are Christians or Catholics, consider one of the 7 deadly sins, greed. You know why we have greed? Greed is because of dissatisfaction. It creates desires. It creates pursuits. Because we're looking for something that we currently don't have. And if Jane was clever, if she was reflective, she would come to this conclusion. For the past 30 years, I have done things, achieved things, obtained things, and they have all left me dissatisfied. What guarantees do I have that future will be different from the past? And the Buddha would say, your future will be very much like your past. So Jane will go home tonight and her husband asks, how are you doing? I'm okay. Why okay? You should be happy. Why happy? I keep running after things only to realize I have them. They no longer satisfy me. And for those of you in this class who want to know your future, listen to the story of the Buddha. He's telling you what's waiting for you. That you're a donkey forever on a run towards the carrot, and it'll end only in death. You either have to be a really, really good Buddhist, where you laugh, but deep down you're crying, or you laugh because you're a fake Buddhist. But because the insights of the Buddha, is not really just limited to the Buddhists. Let's expand this a little bit. If you are laughing, it's because you understand the dirty business of life. And you don't want to burden other people with your insights. So you make them laugh, and on the inside, you're devastated. Or you laugh and have a good time because you're just an idiot. There is no middle ground. So remember, life gives no one security and permanence. It's impossible. Not even to some extent physical life. Earthquakes, natural disasters, they can turn everything upside down. Even those of you in this class who have companions or will eventually have a companion, you have no idea if your companion is going to be attracted to someone. We just don't know. And they're going to pursue the person that they have fallen for. And you have no idea when your calling is going to happen, when you're going to look at your life and you say, it's not enough, I'm not happy. So 2 things about being human. No security to anything. And you will forever remain dissatisfied.